Yeah, I know. It's just gonna.
Okay, we got it on. So here we are again, and this is Lamp of the Week. How's it going?
Tonight,
You
we have
have
another
any
guest.
His name is Jeremiah.
He's here with us.
What's the topic, Jeremiah? Do you remember what we were going to talk about?
Recycling.
Yes.
Alright, recycling. So what do you think about recycling?
Recycling.
Yes.
And
We have recycling here.
well,
You see the cats picking up this plant. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's cats here earlier, and the way animals sometimes treat the land, like going in a circle, and some of the leaves are dead. But then the leaves started to grow a little bit higher, and all because the cats ate it, but it was good. So, yeah, I think that there's power in green.
Yay! Woohoo!
How's it going?
So as far as recycling goes,
have either of you guys had a recycling bin long in your house? Is that something that's a practice that you do?
My work recycles a lot. Because we've got
I think our flag is a representation of who we are. That's why I'm running for office.
downstairs. All the Domino's boxes go in there.
Why do you recycle?
Because there's a recycling bin. I was told that recycling actually isn't as good as you would think. I was like, I don't know who told me that or when I heard that, but apparently, all that goes into recycling, it actually causes more problems, or just as many problems as creating that item or a general idea.
That might have been me, because I know I've been pretty preachy about.
Sometimes I can get pretty preachy.
Recycling and knowing we're recycling, what it's doing, and exactly what you're recycling for, and educating yourself.
Because there's a process of recycling. Like they have to break the stuff down, and then when it comes to plastic and stuff, the fumes that come off of the plastic, anyways, it's just as bad when you created it, or so. I don't know.
Yeah, some of those processes. Some of those processes do release more chemicals. I think the specific thing I was talking about, I'm not as educated on plastics, but with paper, in at least in America, we have sustainable forests, so recycling paper doesn't really serve a huge purpose other than to create a carbon footprint, because you have to reprocess that paper, pulp it, and make new paper out of it, where our trees are already being harvested at a sustainable rate, so that we're not going to destroy the forest to make paper. That's a non-issue for us in America as an industry in forestry. It's just not something that we're doing anymore. And so I personally feel like it distracts from the reality that the forests that are being destroyed are through the equator. We've got ecosystems that are being just absolutely, who knows what live there? We may never know what live there, because we've decided that it's cheaper to build a factory somewhere else where there isn't taxes and there isn't all of these things that are imposed upon us to stop us from making a profit. But unfortunately, America's hugest problem with destroying the environment is not destroying the environment in America, but destroying the environment in other countries. So if you recycle paper, well, all you're really doing is saying, I don't want to think about the trees that are going on in the rainforest if you're educated about it, Like now that I know that when I recycle paper in that way, send it off to a plant to be reprocessed and turned into paper again, when there are plenty of forests that can supply that paper in a renewable way in America. Why am I doing that? Why am I contributing to an industry that's creating pollution just to create pollution so that it can cover up the pollution that's being created by another company? Like, that just, it seems so ridiculous. And I had said, I talked to my friends, I'm like, it's so sad that in America today, you can go out with good intent and want to do something good for your environment, and by making an action that you think is well informed or maybe is going to make a positive impact, you're actually hurting the very thing that you set out to try and help. And that's a problem. That's like a problem that we can't have good intent and have it end up with good things.
So what is your opinion on recycling? I think everyone in this apartment does, because we all have the same recycling bin, so we're all forced to.
I also recycle plastics like from toilet paper, grass, and microplastics.
Okay, so like,
That's another.
This is Tyler. Come on in, Tyler. Want to be in the talk show?
Oh, no, that's why I asked.
Alright, I once heard that
What
recycling
what
factories
do you
actually
think about
do
that?
more damage to the environment than what recycling actually does for the environment.
But I specifically remember
No, but
We just had that conversation.
oh, okay, okay, yeah. Nice.
already happening.
Nice. Well, I'm glad.
That's
The
why
way that
asked, 'cause
because
it would've been
this
funny
is
if
something
you-
that I feel like I'm educated on about that, and specifically the paper industry and repressing paper and making recycled paper, because we have sustainable forests and we're growing sustainably in the United States. And I feel like it distracts away from that we're destroying rainforests in other places, because we're creating pollution by recycling the paper here and talking about recycling like it's fixed the problem, which it hasn't. The problem is not here, it's in another country.
We're creating pollution by recycling this paper here and talking about recycling like it's fixed a problem, which it hasn't, because the problem
Right.
is not here, it's
It's in another country.
Yeah, yeah.
So
that makes
that's my education on it, is that I've learned this through getting an associate degree in natural resources. So that's, I guess, my credentials on it. But not, and that's the thing, is like I encourage everyone, and I'm glad that, like, even though somebody told you this, that you're like, well, I'm not sure, I don't know if it's accurate or not. So I mean, like, I feel like it's important for people to educate themselves on
Yeah.
things like this.
Right, right.
Sure.
But what I do with the paper, because I think it's better than spending all that energy that way, is I use it as kindling.
as firewood, start bonfires and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
actually-
It's a great way. Trees burn. So
Yeah.
you burn that, and wow, it's returned, it's done, and it doesn't have to go through that sort of process. So that's what I do.
Yeah,
guys
now that,
should do with
now that I think
recycling.
about it, I save like all of our cardboard and everything because we got a fire pit in my backyard, so all
Do you
this
know why the
stuff
trees
and
stay
newspapers
green?
and stuff.
The evergreen?
Yeah, yeah.
Because their sap has anti-freeze property. So unlike the other trees, if they kept their sap in it, they would explode with the freezing and the cold temperatures. But those trees, literally, they would die if they didn't send all of that down into their roots during the winter. They got to get it below ground, below the frost line. But these other trees, they've got antifreeze in their blood, essentially. So like they're out there like, yeah, my stuff's not going to freeze, so I can just keep growing during the winter and not explode. And so like I've tried to figure out for the longest time how I can incorporate that into using like pine sap as an antifreeze. I feel like the future of like our technology is a symbiotic relationship between a machine
Slept under
and
pine
organic.
Yeah.
Does that mean that pine trees grow faster than
Do you know
normal?
why the trees stay green?
They'll grow at a quicker rate because they have a longer growing season.
Anti-freeze property. So
Yeah.
like if they kept their sap in it, they would explode like the freezing or cold temperatures. But those trees,
Exploding trees, that would get us
literally, they would die if they didn't send all of that down into their roots.
And
they
in
get
a place
it
like
down
this
around.
where winter is like half the year.
These other trees.
Well, I mean, what are the big trees here?
In their blood, essentially. So like they're out there like, yeah, my stuff's not gonna freeze. So
Big trees here. As a way, I mean, they grow faster here, so that's why that's what's grown here for that forestry industry that's sustainable. That's why so many pines are growing here. But but they're native, mainly native pines, and they try to keep that whole.
What about Wisconsin's mango trees? Wisconsin has mango trees.
There are mango trees in Wisconsin.
That makes sense. I really want a pineapple tree, but
Well, indoors, that's our option for things like that.
Wait, what are you guys talking about? Is it like, can it be like relevant to your conversation?
Anyway.
Or is it recycling?
Anything you want to chat about?
Do you believe plants have consciousness?
Yes.
Okay. I've been looking into plant neurobiology.
Okay.
And they're trying to relate the human brain with the consciousness of a plant. And they've done studies saying that there's neurotransmitters in plants that produce serotonin and dopamine. Well, I came up with a thought the other day to go about watering a plant with psychedelics, or mushroom tea, or peyote, or ayahuasca, and if that would have an effect on the plant.
That's an interesting theory. Did you try it?
I want to try it. It's going to cost a lot of money because I'm not going to just do it once. That's going to be the lifetime of the plant if it works.
Sure.
I'm going to keep doing it so whenever the plant needs water, essentially, I'll just replace it with a psychedelic mixed with water. Which is water too.
That's an interesting. Because if it has an evolutionary property,
would it change the growth pattern? Would it we could physically see a difference, or what would happen? Because essentially
would it pick up its roots and start running?
Just start running around your chair shit, dude.
I know.
I looked into this and no one's done it, but I've been reading about it, and there's scientists studying this plant neurobiology, trying to basically they're saying plants can feel pain and they have memory, and it's just crazy because they are living beings essentially.
Oh sure.
So that's a theory I came up with when I smoked pot for the first time in about a few months.
Yeah. I can see it. Yeah, I can see that.
So I think I'm gonna conduct that experiment at some point.
I was just checking to make sure we were still rolling. It's 11:44, so I'm trying to make it midnight.
What's only on?
Trying to make it midnight. No, I mean
so from now till midnight.
Midnight's when I'm trying to get where I'm going, which is 15 minutes from here. It's
1
to 15 minutes from here, if you follow that track. So, I'm not the pull plugger. I'm not the person who says stop time. You're the host.
That'd be really cool.
I'm just telling you where I gotta be.
Got it. Sure.
Got it?
Sure.
Any
Anyone else?
last phrases to say about recycling or plants potentially picking up their roots and running off?
That'd be awesome. Well, it was very lovely being on this talk show. I look forward to seeing it. Definitely. Cool. You're chopped right now.
Until next week. Until next week.
Man, that's so oh shit.
Pretty choppy.
These are the credits. Welcome to the credits, where you learn how this stuff was made. These are the credits. They are the credits, where you can figure out whether or not anyone got paid. But they didn't. These are the credits. Nope, we just made it for fun. These are the credits. These are the credits. Hope you enjoyed it, everyone. Thanks. These are the credits. Welcome to the credits, where you learn how this stuff was made. These are the credits. They are the credits, where you can figure out whether or not anyone got paid. but they didn't. These are the credits. Nope, we just made it for fun. These are the credits. These are the credits. Hope you enjoyed it, everyone. Thanks.
Earthy. I could start just like recording right now, and it's recording my voice.
Okay,
Don't pretend to know what I mean by that. If you really know yourself, you will start to dance. Really fast, really fast, really fast,
The answer is, don't ask a question, don't need an answer. Don't let your thoughts cause sickness and cancer. That free-flowing thought is hard in escaping. No need to address it. The stamp says to mail it. There's a way more rigid than that way. There isn't right or wrong, only perfection. But perfection is permanent, something a soul can only be. Was created in our existence, made by you and
Stability is impermanent. The magic that impacts us is eternally precarious.
and it will protect us to suggest that these thoughts are incorrect.
To inspect them and reflect would just be nonsense.